Yo, what's up, Master Duel fans? James Polk here. Season 14 has arrived, and everyone's happy about it. Now, first things first, obviously, I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the video. And as always, hit the notification bell to keep yourselves constantly updated. And for Season 14, when it comes to deck of choice, it is more Musket action for you guys to tune in. And based on his hand, all I can say is it's absolutely fine. Many big question marks. Anyways, normal Calamity Jane and a hard pass. And opponent is on Fat 60. Terraforming, Wonder What's Field. Yo! Shatterfoil, Lair of Darkness. That is absolutely nice. That is super nice. Now, when it comes to Lair of Darkness, everybody becomes dark, which is a fatal error for one of my extra deck pieces, specifically, most cases, Lina. Now, once again, this deck is the basics. As for Lair of Darkness, once per turn, if you would tribute a monster to activate a card effect, you can actually tribute one dark monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Random fun fact, by the way, this card literally gets over anything and everything because tribute is cost. And then once per turn during the end phase, no matter whose end phase it is, generate torment tokens as possible to the turn player's field in face-up defense up to the number of monsters tributed this turn when this card is face-up. So the more dark monsters tributed, the more tokens generate. Fiend Dark, level 3, 1000 attack and defense both ways. Lair of Darkness activates. Desperado, get rid of the Lair of Darkness. Banishes the Antra for another Antra. Okay, first time with the Infernoids. So, the way how Infernoids work is that when it comes to Infernoids, they are all about banishing themselves as well as many copies, not counting Decatron, just to inherent special summon themselves in order for them to do something. So, first things first, when it comes to Infernoids, we're going to go over Infernoids specifically, and then we're going to cover most of the cards. So most cases, start off fresh with the only Infernoid that is normal summonable, Decatron. Normal or special, send one Infernoid monster from dead to the graveyard except Decatron. So basically Armageddon Knight. And if you do, increase this card's level by that level, as well as getting the name changed and effects are replaced with that. So this is part of E-Hero Prisma, but modified stats. Infernoid Pyramide. When it comes to inherent special summon themselves, with the exception of the big bosses, they require a certain number of Infernoids or levels in order for them to banish themselves. Pyramide here. Banish one Infernoid from hand or graveyard. And on top of that, they have to be level 8 or lower and no other ways to special them out. So much for Hita Link stealing Infernoids, because card text says no other ways. So in this case about Pyramide, once Pyramide activates its effects, the case is, oh, there it is. Once per turn, target one set card anywhere on the field, shuffle it back, and then that card cannot be chained in response to it. So it's basically Night Beam's version of the Shuffler. And the way how the Infernoid's quick effect work is, have I not killed that Lair of Darkness, I would have ended up tributing my own monster and losing my own card from the graveyard to the banished pile it goes. Which the way how all Infernoids be do as literally DD Crows. But normally they are all about tribute one monster, then target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. So, the Infernoid monster that he summoned out was Antra. In this one, once per turn, target one face up card your opponent controls, kick it back to your hand. And then, yep, so basically most Infernoids share the same thing. Infernoid Harmodic. Banishing one Infernoid, of course, in order to get this out. And then Antra, banish one Infernoid in order for them to get themselves out. The turn in which Harmodic's effect was used, it cannot attack. The case is, once per turn, target one monster anywhere on the field, kill it. And then Petrulia, banish one Infernoid in order to get this out. And then same thing as Harmodic, but the difference is instead of monster, target and destroy one spell trap anywhere on the field. So Harmodic is the exile force, while Petrulia is the MST. Infernoid Piatti, when it comes to the conditions to summon out Piatti, banish two Infernoids in order to get this out. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by attacking an opponent's monster, send one random card from opponent's hand to the graveyard. So literally access Spirit Reaper. Infernoid's Jet, banish two Infernoids to get him out. And then when this card declares an attack, banish one monster from your opponent's extra deck, their choice. Infernoid Scythimus, banish two Infernoids to get this out. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, this effect can be activated at the end of the battle phase. On resolution, banish one card anywhere on the field. So basically the activated effect is cost. The resolution is does not target, banish a card anywhere on the field, which is ridiculous. Atondel, banish two Infernoids to get him out. When this card kills an opponent's monster by battle and sends to the graveyard, activate this. This card can make a second attack in a row, so Cyber Twin Dragon. And as for the Infernoid bosses, Deviati and Onunku, banishing three Infernoids in order to bring themselves out. Deviati, when this card is special summoned, he is a heavy storm except voids. Once per turn, when another monster's effect is activated, as a quick effect, you can tribute one monster, negate the activation, and if you do, banish it. So, invoke Mechaba in terms of the tributes. And then Onunku here. Onunku is the Dark Hole upon special summon. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell, trap, or effect is activated, tribute one monster, negate the activation, and if you do, banish it. So, Deviati is the Invoke Mechaba of monsters, while Onunku is the Invoke Mechaba of spells and traps in terms of tributing. And then Infernoid Fusion of Tierra, which requires Onunku, Devyati, and depends on how many Infernoids you sending. That's what Tierra gets to do. So 3 Infernoids. Each player tosses out 3 extra deck cards. 5 Infernoids. Each player mills the top 3. 8 or more Infernoids. Each player returns up to 3 of their banished cards to the graveyard. And then, if for some reason they can go 10 or more, each player sends their entire hand to the graveyard. So, courtesy of Void Imagination, that's what made the card go ridiculousness. So, the Infernoid spells and traps. Void Expansion. During your standby phase, generate 1 Infernoid token, Fiend Fire, level 1, no attack, no defense, to special an Infernoid monster using its own procedure. You can banish Infernoids you control instead of the graveyard, or any combination of both. And then, which is pretty good for the summon condition. And then, your opponent cannot target Infernoid monsters you control for attacks or with card effects, except the Infernoid monster you control with the highest level, even if tied. Void Vanishment. Discard 1 card, add 1 Void spell trap from deck to hand that isn't null and void or the copy of itself. So Rhoda for voids. And then no normal or special for the rest of the turn except Infernoids, the turn you do this. And then hard ones on the search. If an Infernoid monster you control battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can send this card to the graveyard to banish those monsters. So basically, this is DD Warrior Lady of Infernoids. Void Imagination. Infernoid monsters you control whose original levels are 2 or higher become 1, and all battle damage they inflict to gets cut in half. Send this to the grave. Perform a fusion summon of Infernoid Fusion Tierra using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If your opponent controls a special summon from the extra deck and you don't, you can also use up to 6 monsters off from your deck as materials. Okay, that is banana split, and maybe that's why Tierra's 8 and 10 Infernoid usage is what makes it happen. Void Apocalypse. Discard 1 card, send 1 Fiend from deck to graveyard. So Armageddon Knight, pretty good. And then send this face-up card in your spell trap zone. Send Infernoid monsters with different names from hand and or deck to the graveyard up to the number of monsters your opponent controls that were special from the extra deck. Okay, that is Barf. Void Seer. Target 1 Infernoid monster you control unaffected by opponent's card effects. So basically towers of Infernoids for the whole turn. And then if an Infernoid monster is more than 1 you control will be killed by a card effect, banish this instead. So Saving Grace. Eye of the Void. Specials, you want Infernoid monster from the hand, ignoring the conditions, but effects are negated until the end of this turn. Wild. Void Feast. Send 1 Void spell trap from a hand or face up to the graveyard, including copy of Feast to send this cost. Special summon up to 3 Infernoids straight from your deck, ignoring the conditions, whose total levels exactly equals 8. That is banana split. Void Launch. During each of your standby phases, send up to 2 Infernoid monsters from your deck to the graveyard. If you control a monster that is not Infernoid name, send this card to the graveyard. And then Void Purification. If you control a monster that is not an Infernoid, send this. Each affects once. During each of your opponent's standby phases, target 1 Infernoid monster in graveyard, add it to your hand. And then during each of your standby phases, you can target one of your banished Infernoid monsters, put it back to the graveyard. And that is every single card covered for Infernoids. So first things first, banished Antra to inherent special the Antra. Antra bounce Calamity Jane. Banishing Onunku as well as Harmodic for Atandel. Atandel attacks. Atandel triggers. To tribute the Antra to DD Crow, the Desperado. Normal Calamity Jane attacks over Atandel, damage step, cross dom. Dancing Needle the Infernoids at the same battle phase. And the whole entire board is officially taken over by Muskets. And this next matchup, looking at this hand, can't do too much. So, opponent set 4 and a hard pass. Desires. There goes the Trap Trick. And based on what I banished off from Desires, I can handle this without Fiendish Steel, Samuel, or the Last Stand. Trap Trick. Take out and set Welcome Labyrinth. There goes the 2. Labyrinth Archfiend. Now, when it comes to Labyrinth Archfiend, if a trap card triggers outside of the damage step, free special summon, that's something. And then Welcome Labyrinth, that is your last trap card trigger, and Ash, keep the Welcome Labyrinth in check as chain 3. $28 both ways. Normal Dock. Dock into Max. Max, free special summon warning. Wild Bill Hickok, Billy the Kid, and Caspar. Upstart. Drew into Bellstar, Caspar Search for Dancing Needle, Chalice on Wild Bill where Billy the Kid is, Billy the Kid, Ditch, Starfire, man, 3 cross doms, Wild. Max over Labyrinth Archfiend, damage step, cross dom, and then everybody goes in with some chump change of damage. Same battle phase, Dancing Needle, the Labyrinth, and Welcome Labyrinth. There can be only one. Desperado, killing the Floodgate, where Caspar is, and then Trap Trick, where Billy the Kid is. And by the way, thank you very much for making all of my main deck Muskets live. And what did he banish? Don't summon anything else anymore. Off from Torrential Tribute. Billy the Kid, Ditch Cross Dom, Wild Bill, target the Cross Dom, Dancing Needle, and Desperado, and then Caspar get the Search. Caspar for Steady Hands, Wild Bill, drew into another Caspar, and then there goes the second Cross Dom and Dancing Needle. And knowing that Torrential is on the field, don't summon anything else anymore. Wild Bill, Billy the Kid, and Caspar for lethal. And this next matchup, depending on his hand, all I can say is maybe. Normal Bell Star, opponent drops Max C. Okay, Math Mech, quite something. Sigma activates, free special. Math Mech Addict Nister. When it comes to Bururu, this is your Armageddon Knight of Addict Nister. And then upon Synchro Summon, for the usage of Cyburst, target one monster in your graveyard that was used for Synchro Summon that isn't Bururu, free special. Sends away Picari, Shadows and Spell Traps. Two together for Cyburst Wicked. There goes the Ignister Island. Idol Reborn. Oh? Didn't even know that was a quick play. Nice. Target one Addict Nister in your graveyard, free special it, and then can special summon anything else except Cyburst. Picari, search for I Meet You. Now, when it comes to I Meet You, reveal one Cyburst with 2300 attack in your hand or extra, and one Addict Nister with the same attribute from deck to hand. During the end phase, reveals one from extra deck and then adds one Addict Nister, based on what the attribute matches. And then during the end phase of the turn, take 2300 damage if you did not special summon a revealed monster, which is quite ridiculousness, or a monster with the same name after you resolve it. And then you can't activate anything else except Cyburst. I Meet You reveals Decode Talker Heat Soul. Card is insane. So that pretty much means he has to get the Achichi Addict Nister. Yep, Achichi Addict Nister. In this one, it is the Stratos level 4 or lower Addict Nister. And then at the start of the damage step, when your Cyburst monster battles, doesn't matter what Cyburst, banish this, destroy that monster you control while. And then does Picari have anything? Target one Addict Nister you control, its level becomes 4. Alright, so a level modification off from Picari. And by the way, this is something that the Addict Nister player screwed up. As soon as he activated I Meet You, right where Bell Star was or is, this is what completely changed the game, and I'm going to completely cut my opponent off from reaching towers as quick as we can. Bell Star triggers, and have he not have Ash, special cast bar straight from the deck, and then Wicked, Picari for Splash Mage, Island for Achichi, Steady Hands on Bell Star, right where cast bar is, grabs the Doyon Addict Nister. In this one, normal or special, target one Addict Nister monster in graveyard, add it to your hand. And then if it gets sent to the graveyard just because of a link summon of a Cyburst, target one AI spell trap in your grave, add it to your hand. Cast bar. This is the card you want to cut off a rival Cyburst Addict Nister, aka Towers. And you'll see what I mean in a bit. Splash Mage revives Picari. This is the card you want to stop at all times, because if you do not have anything to stop Dark Templar, unless if for some reason they chain block it, then they pretty much going to make Addict Nister Towers, and you literally lose the game unless you have Steady Hands and a huge chunk of attack in order to contest Addict Nister Towers. Ignister Island for Doyon. Doyon grabbing Picari. Link out the Doyon into Dark Infant Adignister. One non-link Adignister to make it, so basically the whole entire deck. First chance the card gets linked, so I'm gonna add one Ignister Island. So basically this card is Baylinks. And then when a Cyberse monster with 2300 original attack activates this effect as a quick effect, move it along. And if you do, change it to any attribute, it becomes a built-in Mud Dragon with a hint of Indigo Eclipse. And then as for Adignister Island, or Ignister Island, I should say, no monsters in your main monster zone. If you constantly noticed it by now, it is not once per turn on the free special of level 4 or lower Ignister, add Ignister from the hand. And then no special summon monsters with the same original attribute by the effect of the island. Also, can't special summon anything except Cybers. And then for some reason, if it's in the graveyard, which you do not want to destroy it ever, banish one Adignister monster from your graveyard, reset button the island. And then Dark Templar, on the other hand, 3 monsters with different names to make it. Doyon, Splash, and a Chi-Chi. If a monster's more than one is special summoned to the zone in which it points to, it's pretty good arrows. Even during the damage step, which is nuts, free special as many level 4 or lower Adignister monsters from your graveyard as possible to the zones in which it points to. So basically in this context, Baylinks of Adignisters, move it along, you get 3 Adignisters. But their effects are negated, and then when this card kills an opponent's monster by battle, special one Cyber straight from your graveyard. Pretty good. And then each effect once. Doyon, grab the I Meet You, Dark Templar, and then Baylinks of Adignister, and then Dancing Needle, aka DD Crow, getting rid of the 3 Adignisters. And I am not allowing you to go straight into Adignister Towers. Grabs the Reborn spell. Oh, and for the record, by the way, have the opponent did not use I Meet You where Bellstar was, this completely changes everything. Access code. Yo! Shatterfoil access code. That is super nice. That is wild. And then everybody knows what's up with access code. We all know about this most famous iconic Link 4 ever there is. And on top of that, it's a Cyberse. Obviously, it gets around the whole entire conditions of Adignister stuff, which is insane. Access code. And then Ignister Island for Picari. Oh, hello. Lingeribo. Level 4 lower Cybers to make this. Yep. When your opponent activates a trap as a quick effect, tribute this card, negate it, and if you do, banish it. So invoke Mechaba of Traps. And then if this card is in graveyard as a quick effect, tribute one Adignister. Okay, that makes sense on the Lingeribo. Tribute one Adignister monster that was summoned, offering an extra free special this card. Okay, that definitely makes sense. And then the one set. Access code. All our darks. And then, oh yeah, splashes water, so 56 damage. And of course 2300 due to I Meet You. Normal's Calamity Jane. Ida Reborn for Picari. Ash keeping Picari in check. Desires. Hey, yo! 3 Desperados. Yeesh. Lost out on 3 Desperados, Fiendish Steel, and both docks, which is ridiculousness. And then Ash keeps Desires in check. Calamity Jane, bring back Caspar. Caspar into Max. Max getting more spells and traps. Cross Dom. Last stand in case something goes down. Oh, hello? When an attack is declaring involving 2 monsters, banish this and 1 card from hand, then target one of your eye spells and traps that is banished or in your graveyard that isn't reborn, add it to your hand. Okay, pretty nice recursion there. Grabbing I Meet You back. Max over Lingeribo. And then Cross Dom, where Calamity Jane over Access on damage step. I Meet You. Last stand, right where Calamity Jane is. Calamity Jane getting Caspar. Normal Ash. Woo! Wind Pegasus at Ignister. We all know what's up about Wind Pegasus at Ignister being one of the Dogmatica punishment targets, which is if for some reason a card you control gets killed, banish the Wind Pegasus to spin move it out. Now, as in actual at Ignister monster on the field, so let's see what's up. Generic 7, 23 body, 15 defense. During your main phase, you can destroy spells and traps your opponent controls up to the number of at Ignister monsters you control, and it does not target. So the more at Ignister monsters you have, Harpy's Feather Duster. Wind Pegasus over Max. Top decks Samuel by tributing Caspar. Calamity Jane into Max. Max getting Cross Dom. Yep, opponent realizes about what's going to happen. Max getting the Cross Dom, and then Samuel get the attack in on Wind Pegasus, or even Max, either one. And then whatever's left of the damage is lethal. So guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this short clips but epic confrontation battles. Be sure to once again like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated, and we'll catch you guys next time.